Tell me your craziest one in a million story. Something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
So this is my dad's story. When he was 12, he got hit by a car. So he was on his bike to go get a comic, and he went over the hood of the car and landed behind the car. The woman got out who was driving the car and starts freaking out and just doesn't know what to do and can't comprehend that she just hit this 12-year-old kid. So all of these bystanders are sitting there, they don't know what to do either. And my dad's laying underneath the exhaust pipe and the car is still on, which is sending exhaust into his face. And he's passed out because he got hit by a fucking car. So this man comes over to the crowd and he's like, okay, everyone give me your jackets. We're going to cover up this boy. We're going to get him to the hospital. We're going to get everything. So my dad recovers. Fast forward 15 years. He's doing 3 sports in high school, whatever. Fuck. Anyway, so his track coach has them go to this bar and they're all having this conversation. And the track coach starts talking about this boy he saved his life after he got hit by a car. And my dad's track cross-country coach was the one who saved his life when he was 12.
Tell me your craziest one in a million story. Something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
All right, guys. So I could definitely believe that it happened because it feels like just yesterday. But really crazy story. When I was 14, I was hit by an 18-wheeler. Yeah, you know those like really big transport trucks on the road? Yeah, I was hit by that. Little old me, not even 4'9" yet, not even 70 pounds probably. And basically we're driving in freezing ice, my family and I, on the way to my cousin's house in Michigan from Ottawa in Canada. And it was freezing rain and we slid in the freezing rain and ended up horizontally on the highway and the huge truck hit me. So I was in the hospital for almost 7 days. Couldn't really walk, couldn't really breathe, couldn't do much, and I'm still here.
Tell me your craziest one in a million story. Something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
So I'm a photographer and a beginner in astrophotography, and this is the story about how I captured probably one of the best ever photos I will ever take in my entire life. We had a lightning storm that came through where I live. It was about 2 a.m. and I was sat on my windowsill like this, just watching the lightning storm. And I suddenly had the urge to get out all my camera equipment and go and try and take a photo, you know, as you do in the middle of a lightning storm. Got out all my camera gear, was out there for about 10 minutes. I was absolutely drenched, was capturing nothing. As I clicked the shutter on the camera for the final photo, I thought I'll take one more. I saw probably the craziest ever display of lightning light up the garden. I mean, it was like it was daytime. I was so worried that the camera wasn't going to take the photo and see what I saw with my eyes, but boy, I was wrong. I actually woke up to a message from the BBC the next morning saying that they want to use it on primetime TV on BBC One when they showed the weather that following evening. But here it is. Here's the final image. Crazy.
Tell me your craziest one in a million story. Something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
When I was like 20 years old, I lived in Los Angeles and I went to the MacBook store one day and I looked over and there was a blind man playing what looked like a mini like DJ table, it almost looked like. And I looked at the Apple store guy and I said, wow, that seriously looks like Stevie Wonder. And he said, ma'am, that is Stevie Wonder. So I went over and I asked his bodyguard if I could ask him to take a photo, and the bodyguard then in detail described me to Stevie Wonder, and he was super, super nice and let me take a photo with him. Maybe not one in a million because you do run into celebrities all the time in LA, but probably one of the only ones I was starstruck enough to ask to take a photo with.
Tell me your craziest one in a million story. Something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
There are many instances in my life where I should have been killed, but because my guardian angels are working overtime, I lived. And this is one of those times. Back in high school, I went shooting with some friends and we were sighting in our rifles. And I was shooting my dad's .300 Winchester Magnum, which for those of you who don't know gun terminology is a big freaking gun. As I was shooting reloaded rounds, one didn't fire properly. It popped, but it wasn't as loud and it didn't have as much kick. So I reload my magazine with 4 rounds and I go to pull the trigger, nothing. It was a dud. So I eject the round, go to pull the trigger again, nothing, another dud. And it happened again for a 3rd time, and it was weird because all the primers had been hit, but none of the rounds went off, which has never, ever happened to me, especially when the firing pin is working fine. But then I get this impression to look down the barrel, and when I did, lo and behold, there was a bullet stuck in the barrel, which meant that if any one of those 3 rounds would have gone off, it most likely would have killed me, or at the very least, horribly disfigured my face. And this is an honest to the man upstairs true story. I would bet my left hand on it. Oh, frick's sakes! But seriously.
Tell me your craziest one in a million story. Something that happened to you that you just can't believe was real.
So my dad always wanted a son. He just kept trying, and he just couldn't give up. I have 3 sisters. He kept trying. And then there was me. I was finally born. I wasn't supposed to be born. on the day that I was born. I think my due date was earlier or later, I forget. But my dad, the day that I was born, he had to cancel work. And the day that he had to cancel work, he had a security meet on the 101st floor of Tower 1 of the Twin Towers. And I was born on September 11th, 2001. So my dad didn't go to work that day, and he got a baby boy. Oh.